Is the microphone on?
Mr. Thorpe, can you count to 5 just to make sure we can hear you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking some time to speak with us today.
All right.
You are Logan Thorpe, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're 26 years old?
Yes, sir.
You were born in Virginia Beach?
Yes.
Okay. I want to find out why you came to Bayside Presbyterian back in January 8th.
Okay.
Just tell me a little bit about why you were there.
So about 12 hours before I came to Bayside Presbyterian, I got this tattoo on my face. And obviously this is a tattoo representing my faith in Jesus Christ. I came to church that day because I felt a calling from God, or a spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I am familiar with that church. I was raised in that church. I spent a lot of time in that church. So I felt it only proper to go to the place where I was baptized to talk to a pastor or some deacon or some religious person about my current situation. I just had a lot on my chest that I wanted to talk about.
Why did you feel it was necessary to have a revolver as well as the 6 weapons that were in the truck?
Well, I always have the revolver on me because I'm a licensed gun owner with a concealed carry permit. Maybe not anymore, but I've had that license for 5 years, going on 6 years, out of Virginia Beach, and I've had guns since I was 13 years old, and it's just part of my body. Like my phone, wallet, keys, and pistol is always on me, no matter what.
That's within less than 38. You carry that all the time?
I do.
Okay. Were you planning to use it?
No.
Why is 6 other weapons in the truck?
So I used to be homeless, and I used to live in my truck. As you can tell by the appearance of my truck, I don't know if you've seen it, I have solar panels on my truck, I have a camper top on my truck, and I was living in Miami, Florida, and Key West, Florida, for some years in my truck. And so I had all my guns in a safe that was bolted to my truck. And I just left them there because I recently moved back to Virginia Beach after a fatal motorcycle crash.
You tell me about that motorcycle crash because I know it plays a role in your tattoo as well.
Sure.
What city was that in Florida?
I was in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were living out of your truck at the time and had a motorcycle as well, or what?
No, I actually had an apartment at the time. But I recently moved into that apartment, and then I had just bought a brand new motorcycle, a 2024 Honda CRF 450 dirt bike enduro style motorcycle. And I only had that motorcycle for 10 days before crashing it. But I've been riding motorcycles for about 8 years.
And what happened in the accident?
Well, I don't actually remember anything from the accident, but there's a video of me crashing because there was a Tesla behind me, and the Teslas are always recording. So there's a video. I was just driving about 40 miles an hour, and a car cut me off, and I didn't have time to react, and I hit the back of the car, and my bike snapped in half, and I was ejected from the motorcycle.
And so we heard your mother's testimony this morning about how you were non-responsive.
Yes.
Lying in the
Well, I was declared dead on scene.
And then tell me what
They gave me CPR, and they gave me a blood transfusion, and they put me into a medically induced coma. And after about a week in that coma, I woke up.
Mm.
So
And you were in the hospital for what, 3 more months, right?
2.5 months, yeah.
2.5 months, right. And tell me the significance of the tattoo as it relates to that incident.
Um, as I was lying in my hospital bed for some months, immobilized, I had it on my soul to get another face tattoo because I have another one here, and I also have a cross on my neck here, I have a cross on my neck here, and so I wanted a larger cross to represent Jesus because there's 3 crosses on that day that Jesus was crucified, 2 smaller ones and 1 larger one representing his kingship, like he is the one.
Right.
And
Your microphone.
sorry.
Do you feel that you're being crucified?
Do I feel that I'm being crucified?
Yes.
Figuratively or literally?
Figuratively, of course.
Oh yeah.
Why so?
Because I don't know if you're familiar with the Bible.
Parts of it.
In the New Testament, it talks about blessed are you when you're persecuted for my name. Blessed are you when you're cast into prison for my name's sake. So I went to a church that I was baptized in to pray and talk to a pastor, and I ended up in county jail for some time.
But do you understand why they were concerned when you bring a revolver in with you?
Well, they did not know that I had a gun until I told
Does
them.
that matter?
Yes, it does matter
Why does that matter?
because I have a concealed carry permit, and by law, I am not allowed to let anyone know that I am armed.
Right, but you can't bring a gun in a church.
I did not know that. If I had known that you're not allowed to bring a gun in a church, I would have not brought the gun.
Why were you on what part of your truck were you on top of when police arrived? Was it the hood or the roof or the bed or what part?
Just all over
Okay.
because I work out of my truck a lot, so I go on top of my truck quite often.
Okay. And I didn't see a picture of it, so is it a camper truck?
Yes.
So were you like up completely up on the top of it?
Yeah, I was just walking around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Why were you doing that? Why were you on top of your truck?
If I recall correctly, it was just to signify that I'm kind of above whatever is about to happen to me.
And the building superintendent told police that you told him that you wanted to be pastor of the church. Do you see yourself as a spiritual leader?
Oh yes.
Why so?
I've brought many people to Christ, and I've baptized a few people.
You've baptized.
I've baptized people.
Are you some sort of ordained minister?
I'm ordained by God.
You're ordained by God.
Like John the Baptist, they asked John the Baptist the same question. Who gives you the authority to baptize? Comes from God.
Yeah.
I don't need a license from man to do what my God has commanded me to do.
There were several mentions regarding marijuana in the course. How often and how much do you smoke?
I've been smoking marijuana since I was about 13 years old. So, off and on, because I was in a military school, I was in the Boy Scouts, I was in regular school, college. I've moved around, I've traveled a lot, I've gone to other countries, and all these times I was not able to smoke weed.
Okay.
So,
Do you find some kind of solace or some kind of comfort in it?
yeah, I'm a young man, so I drink alcohol and I smoke weed, yeah.
Do you see where that could be a bad combination with firearms?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Eagle Scout, and now, at least for the time being, felony defendant. That's quite a
Well, so is Donald Trump. Like, he's a felon. He's the president of the United States.
Um, what about the Thanksgiving of 2023? You brought, I guess, a gun to the house for Thanksgiving dinner.
Right. I always have my gun on me. My family knows that. I sat down to eat Thanksgiving dinner with my family as a surprise. So it was a surprise.
They didn't know you were coming?
They did not know that I was coming. Not even my own mom knew, because I wanted to surprise her. Hey Mom, I'm back from Florida just in time for Thanksgiving. And my mom was ecstatic. My mom was crying, hugging me, pouring me wine. We were having a feast. It was Thanksgiving. My siblings and their boyfriends were jealous that my mom loves me more than whoever those boys were.
And your one sister got a restraining order, correct?
I do not recall that because I have not been served with a restraining order.
Okay.
Ever.
I was surprised you in court this morning.
Yes, it was a surprise to me because
Okay.
what also is a surprise, it's also a surprise to me that the prosecutor lied repeatedly during their testimony.
The jail call where you had told your mom, when I get out of here, I'm going to smoke weed like you've never seen me smoke weed.
Yeah,
And I believe she, I want to make sure I understood her correctly, but just hearing the audio from out in the gallery, she said that won't help you get into law school. Tell me about that.
So because of this incident that has happened to me, since my incarceration, I've begun studying law, and I plan on becoming a criminal defense attorney when I leave and go back to college at a law school somewhere.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yes.
What do you want to happen here? I mean, obviously you want to get out of jail.
Well, of course.
What have you learned from all this?
I've learned that I need to be nicer to people. I should not lord my faith over people. Having a face tattoo should be enough. I don't really need to say much. It should be obvious what I stand for. I shouldn't talk on the jail phone recklessly. The police are not my friend, as much as they might think they are. The Commonwealth and the city of Virginia Beach is corrupt, and I will be taking action legally against the Commonwealth with civil lawsuits when I get out of here.
Bayside Presbyterian was where you were baptized.
Yes.
Where your mom and dad were married.
Yes.
Correct. You were raised there.
Yes,
You attended preschool there, correct?
I did.
Okay. Is preschool just P and K or what is it?
Yeah, P and K.
P and K,
Yeah.
okay. Is there anything you want to say to the school staff, the congregation, the kind of the people who run the church, you know, the people who are elders or whatever in the church? Is there anything you want to say?
Absolutely.
Okay, please do.
I'm sorry for this whole situation. My intentions were pure that day. If you look at the videos of me in that church, besides the one that was presented in court, I was in the sanctuary for over an hour with Eugene, praying, reading the Bible, and crying. Because I am a man of God, a disciple of Christ. If my incarceration does not speak for that, then I will speak for it. But I forgive everybody at that church. I hold no grudges. I understand that they're scared.
Right, you forgive them, but what did they do to you?
They signed a petition to keep me incarcerated, despite the pastor's wishes.
Have you seen this petition?
I have
How many names were on it?
at least 400.
I'm assuming
I do not know because, like I said, I've lived in Miami for the past few years, so it's been about a decade since I've even entered that building. So I don't know anyone that currently goes there. I don't know the pastor. I have no enemies there. I genuinely forgot. I genuinely forgot that it was a school, despite having attending it because of my recent motorcycle accident and my distance from the city for some time.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have
Sure.
for today. We are suddenly going the air, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you,
Okay.
and good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right.
God bless.